Working hard out here in the garden, guys. I've been out here pretty much all day trying to get some things in the ground, trying to do the expansion. I just planted some okra and cowpea seeds. Anyway, yeah, let's take a look here. So this is the newest area. I connected with the straw all the way to this area here, and I don't remember if I showed you guys that I put cardboard down, a couple layers. Actually, it's really only a layer, a couple pieces thick. I put my porterweed out here because it dries up so fast, and I covered it with lots of straw and watered it in really well. I'm hoping that it will survive. Then I brought some basil that was getting really sick. It was being shaded out by the tomato here, and thought maybe it just needed more sun. So I stuck it out here along with a couple watermelon plants on each side here, and then some spinach that probably won't do much, but I didn't want to just let it die. I figured I'd give it another shot. My lemon basil was getting sick in the pot that it was in, so I took off all the really ugly leaves and put it in a much bigger pot. It was very root bound when I took it out, and I'm hoping it'll do better in this area. Over here, the last of my seed potatoes, tried two methods. So there's a row here that has soil down, and then the potatoes in the straw. And then the row behind it, I didn't put any soil down, just laid it on the ground, because I did watch a video where people did that and it helped to break up the ground when they had difficult ground like this. I'm not saying it's gonna work, but it's an experiment. I don't even know if those potatoes were viable anymore, to be honest with you, but we're gonna try it. And then in this area, I raked all the straw back, put a bunch of soil in there, and just dropped a ton of cowpea and okra seeds in there that I saved from last year's garden. And then once they come up, I'll cover it back up with the straw. And then over here, a couple zinnias that were dying in their little pots, and I don't know if these two were the cantaloupe that I couldn't figure out where they went to, but I did stick them in here with their soil, and maybe they'll do something. If not, not a big deal. And let's see what else. Oh, transplanted or up potted a bunch more little pepper seedlings, and I don't know what variety. I'm hoping it's the little tiny sweet peppers that grow sort of like Tabasco peppers, but they're sweet. And then I realized what the little seedlings were. I couldn't remember the other day when I showed you, and look how much bigger just from up potting them this morning. I swear they're so much bigger. But anyway, they are my tomatillos. So I don't have any ground cherries this year, but tomatillos you can use making like salsa verde and things like that. So got those potted up, stuck a couple cantaloupe seeds in either corner of this little area here. I think I did that 2 days ago. I don't know, maybe 3, but they popped up pretty fast. So that is, I think, all that I've done, but it's been a lot of work. It doesn't look like much, but it's been a lot of work. And I had some like 3-gallon grow bags that were supposed to arrive today that I bought from Amazon when I got my shade cloth that I still have not put up. I can't figure out how I'm going to get that done. My boyfriend Ricky said he's going to help me figure it out. It was only 22 bucks. It's a really cheap one. We'll figure it out. Anyway, the grow bags were supposed to be here today. They're not going to arrive today, so I really wanted to up pot my dill pepper. It's like the first time in a long time, other than when we went to the beach last weekend, that I've been barefoot and in shorts. I don't normally do that. So this dill pepper, which is putting off lots of peppers, but it dries up every afternoon because the pot is just too small for the size of the plant. So I wanted to get that. I wanted the 3-gallon bags, but it won't be here till tomorrow, so it'll have to wait another day. Checking out the wildlife in the garden. Natural pest control. And my little caterpillars are getting nice and fat. and plump. I did see a wasp around here earlier, but he didn't mess with them, so that's cool. There's at least 3 that have made it past the little tiny baby stage. Where's the other one? Oh, right there. Hopefully he's not trying to get to them. Oh, look at the size of these jalapenos. Oh, leaves, get out of my way. That's a nice size one. Could probably pick that up. Yeah, so today was fertilizing day. Oh yeah, another lizard. We about to have a fight? What's happening? Oh yeah, okay. Dang, he took off way out there. Anyway, today was fertilizing day. So everybody out here got fertilized. Basically, I realized that all these pots, they need more. They need more nutrients than the soil in the pots could give them. So I've started doing weekly fertilizing with like really diluted fertilizer so that I'm not overdoing it. And everybody seems to be thriving. So I'm gonna keep doing that. Wanted to show you guys, ever since I've been using this straw, I've had grass popping up in places we've never had grass before. And I figured out why. It's absolutely full of wheat grain seeds. These are mostly just the casings, but there are definitely seed left in here. And so, if nothing else, we'll get a nice crop of wheat. Good morning, you guys. It's Sunday, and I'm out here in the garden just trying to figure out what I'm going to do from here. A lot of my stuff is coming to the end of its life. The rain, the humidity, the heat, it's taking out a lot of things. My peppers, however, are really starting to take off, so I'm focusing on the long term for those guys. Let me show you what I've got going on this morning. So yesterday evening I started chopping back vines on my squash plants. They're just getting sick, and you can tell they're pretty much coming to the end of their lifespan, and the new fruits that they're putting off, none of them are any good. They just rot automatically. So I left this one because it was putting off new growth down there, and this one had some babies on it, but I pulled the others, collected the fruit, which was not fully ripe, by the way. I don't know if they will continue to ripen once picked, like tomatoes and maybe some other fruits. But the bugs were starting to get into them. A couple of my crookneck squash totally riddled with worms. The joys of gardening. Came over to this one, did the same thing over here. I did leave whatever vines looked like they were still maybe producing, but some of them had been infiltrated by the bugs. Let's see, right here, this gooey stuff coming out of the stalk, that means there's bugs in there. So that plant's gonna die anyway. So I just started pulling things out, give room for the, excuse me, I didn't mean to yell up in your face. Give room to the things that are still producing, which is basically zinnias in these 2 tubs, and tried feeding the greens to my chickens, but my chickens don't quite know how to chicken yet, so they didn't realize it was food. And I tried to feed them the squash. They were too concerned with the black tips of my snips that they were all fighting over to try to eat while I was trying to cut up the squash for them. So they just don't know what's going on yet. Over here, I picked some tomatoes yesterday, and I was so disappointed. This plant's okay. So far, no holes in my fruits, but this plant, all the fruits I pulled off of this guy had holes in it. Worms had been chewing in it, and I'm just very disappointed. Little happy bumblebee. Hi, guy. Alright, so over here, I just did this morning. It took almost a whole bag, 2 cubic foot bag of soil to fill this pot. I believe it's a 10-gallon pot. I'm pretty sure. I didn't realize, I thought I had ordered the 3 or 5 gallon, but I got a bunch of 10-gallon pots, so it's going to take a lot of soil to fill those. But this is my dill pepper, the one that kept falling over, and he was just too big for his pot. So I stuck him in this big guy here and placed him over on this side. I also stuck 2 little baby peppers in there. I feel like that's enough soil to support 3 pepper plants, but we'll see. But this guy is loaded. Let's see, we've got tons of fruits on it and tons of flowers. So this looks like it's going to be a very productive plant, and I'm kind of excited, even though this is supposed to be an extremely hot pepper. My brother-in-law said if I get enough peppers going, he'd really like to try to make salsa and some hot sauces, so I'm excited about that. I just threw down a bunch of seeds for beans and okra in this patch of soil, and I kind of wanted to see what happened with this hay being, or straw being so nearby. And I'm wondering, because beans are supposed to be a really good test for contaminated soil and things like that, and those look pretty rough here, but then these look okay. I wouldn't say perfect. They still have some damage, which could be from the straw. I don't know. But just a little test plot here. This is what a lot of the tomatoes that I had been waiting on look like, and I couldn't see that because it was hanging on the plant like this, facing down. So when I was moving the plant around, I noticed that. So I went ahead and pulled it off. Yeah. So I'm just going to let these rot down right here. I moved my 3 little tiers over here this morning because where it was sitting before, when it was raining, it was getting pummeled by the overhang on the roof thing. So it drowned everything I had in those sections. I haven't seen much change in the little plants that I put in here, and actually some of them are just completely going, but you know. I've got some massive bell peppers that need to be picked, but I harvested several a couple weeks ago. Thought they were going to get used. They didn't. So they were wasted, and I don't like that. So I'm just going to leave them on the plant until somebody's like, hey, do you have a bell pepper? I'm going to be like, I got you. Jalapenos. Look at these beauties. That is a pretty good size there, for sure. You guys know, if you've been watching my videos at all in this garden season, that I'm very excited about these for one particular reason, and I don't know what they're called, but they're absolutely delicious. I don't know if anybody knows anything about borage. Showed you guys this in the last video where I repotted it and it just sprung up and it was beautiful. Is borage a vining flower? Because that's what it's doing. There's only one that's standing straight up. The rest of them are vining out everywhere. If it's not a vining plant, does it just need support? Look at all those beautiful flowers. Oh, that one's like pink. So if you know, let me know, because I don't know. Look at that. Let's see, what else do we have going on? Oh, I got my first squash off of this guy yesterday, and it was absolutely riddled with wormholes. So there are 2 on this side and 1 slightly bigger one on that side. Hopefully I could get something off of these. Look at this white, almost white zinnia. Wow, that's really pretty. Peppers, peppers. Here's another jalapeno. Oh, something exciting. I got flower blooms on these potatoes in this basket here. It's a very small basket, so I'm really not expecting much. And I should probably add some soil. But yeah, got blooms on these guys. That's pretty exciting. My watermelons are starting to vine out this way. However, they're already getting sick. Bugs. I don't know. So I don't know that these will do anything. And look at this dill. I thought I only planted one plant, you guys. Do you guys know if dill reproduces on its own? Like, does it divide on its own? Because there are a lot more stems in here than I remember putting in here. Starting to get flowers on little neighbors' overcrowded cucumber patch. This is a little, I think, 3-gallon bucket. Maybe 5, I'm not sure. I'm absolutely sure this is too many cucumbers for this bucket, but I mean, they're not dead. I've got 2 really nice size poblanos here. Look at this one. Oh my goodness. Massive. It wasn't this big yesterday. I got another little one there and lots of flowers. It still looks kind of pretty out here. Let's see, I accidentally broke a tomato off of here when I was moving it, and then the other one fell off when it got blown over by the wind, and this is broken. I don't see any more flowers on here. This plant's had a really hard life. One of my pots from up here fell into this guy during a storm, and I didn't realize it for 2 or 3 days because it was storming and I wasn't able to get out here. So there was some damage, but I think everybody will be okay. These pumpkins are starting to take off, but they're not looking so hot already. And I really need to start trellising or tying up my tomatoes. The bugs are really in here. I probably won't get much else from that plant or those plants, but once I get the squash and whatever else out of these big buckets, then I'm going to start replacing them with peppers, because I've got a ton of peppers and they need to get in bigger pots. They're all doing fine, but as the season continues and they really start to pick up production, they're going to need bigger pots. So when all these, like I said, come out, then the peppers will go in, because the peppers are going to be like a all summer type of crop as long as I can support them. And then in the fall we get to try the squashes and stuff again. I'm really excited about that. This bed, it doesn't look the prettiest, but let's see, we've got blooms again on strawberries, so I'm hoping to get some more strawberries before the season ends. Yeah, look at that pretty bloom. And these plants are loaded down with peppers. They can't even support themselves anymore. And once again, I feel like I should be cutting them off. Mostly so the plant knows to keep producing. However, I don't want to cut them off for no reason, as I've already said probably way too many times. And I like my bell peppers a little bit on the colored side anyway. They get sweeter, so I'm gonna leave them. Lots of nasturtium flowers. The leaves are starting to get, you know, they're not as pretty as they were last week when I showed you guys, or the week before. But, and then the marigolds, of course. Everything's looking a little worse than the last time I showed you, but I don't know. It's the end, yes, coming to the end of, how many seasons does Florida have? Over here we finally have peppers forming on these plants. These plants have been in the ground longer than I've had any other peppers. And as I'm saying this, I realize why they haven't produced yet. I put these in way too early, so they've gotten stunted. And that's why they're so much further behind than everybody else. I've seen lots of flowers on them, but this is the first time I'm actually getting fruits forming. So Maybe they'll pick up as it gets warmer. Got little cucumbers in here. Just little baby ones. And I don't know if they'll turn into anything. Last year I had cucumbers planted in this area and they kind of went like that and then didn't go any further. So we'll see. But what the heck are you? Over here in this area, this squash is finally, wow, finally putting off fruit. I don't know if it was pollinated. Oh, hi. Sorry to disturb you. And then, let's see, my little tomato, which is taking forever. There's really no nutrients. I didn't really add anything to this area. My peppers are looking kind of sad. And my sunflowers. This one is hopefully going to make seeds. I mean, those are definitely seeds. I just don't know if they were pollinated or really how that works. And these guys like to hang out over here. Big blooms on this guy. That's a massive bloom. What? It's not the prettiest anymore, but it's huge. And I know I have seeds in here somewhere. I showed you guys little seed pods right in here. But supposedly it was either this plant or the yellow one on the other side that all it has to do is touch the ground and it'll spread itself. So this is touching the ground. We'll see. Look at these banana peppers. These are ready to be harvested too, but I've never had a orange banana pepper, so I'm gonna let it go until it turns colors and try that. My jasmine is growing. So these tomatoes here, what I was talking about a few minutes ago, they've shot up like crazy after all this rain, so they need to get repotted and they'll be getting planted all the way to the top. So I'm gonna need a deep pot for these guys. Dang, I was thinking about moving this guy out somewhere to where he can drop seeds in the dirt, but I kind of like him right here, so I think I'm going to sheet mulch this area, put some straw down, and let him spread his seeds everywhere. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, and it's already so humid, but it's nice. Hey, I was out here the other evening, and there was a little rabbit over here. Here. That's not that far away from me. And I was working right here. I just picked this up. It had fallen over in the storm. I was giving this guy water. I was checking these things out. And I walked over here and turned back around. He was sitting right there. So he was sitting right there the whole time I was working. And I was like, hey, buddy, don't you see me here? Aren't you afraid? And he was not afraid. I waved my arms around. I spoke to it. Had no concern whatsoever for me, which, you know, I'm kind of torn about because I love seeing nature. I love rabbits. I love all that stuff. And I was so excited to see them in my garden. But at the same time, rabbits eat everything that I've planted. So something did steal. I had 2 very ripe blueberries when I went to work yesterday. And I was so excited to eat them when I came home. But when I came home, the skins were sitting right, you can see their spots. And something had basically sucked the juices out. It looked like they split them open, sucked the juices out, and left the skin sitting here. Update on my Tabasco pepper plant. Look at all of those peppers. And this guy's starting to flower. This guy's getting more fruit. And this is one of the other ones. It's finally starting to get little flowers on it. These guys, the habaneros, have lots of little flowers, which just in these small pots is not a good idea. It means that they're like struggling. They're trying to create their seed as fast as possible to continue their life cycle because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die in here. So I want to get these guys in bigger pots as well. So this year will be the first year that I'm going to attempt a fall garden, and I'm really excited about it because here in the South we do struggle a lot with bugs, pests that come out in the spring and the summertime and just destroy everything. So supposedly if you do a fall garden, there's going to be a lot less pest pressure, less heat and humidity, so your plants should be healthier. I'm going to try all the vining things. You know, maybe I'll get a better harvest of squash and what else? What else can you try in the fall? Oh, Brussels sprouts and cabbages and all the things I've never grown before. I'm really excited to try. I just had this plant in my hand, put this cardboard down, and did not see this ginormous spider. Oh my goodness. You are massive. Look. Look how big it is. Jeez. Just added all this cardboard here. I'll put hay down on top of it next. Gosh, these tomatoes are beautiful. I'm so excited. There's more hiding in there. And there's more on this plant. I don't know if you can see them hiding down there. Hopefully the bugs don't get them. My water hose busted. So now I'm without water till I get another hose. Not really without water. I just gotta not be lazy and carry buckets again. BT, I have told you that we have to go to the store. Okay? We're out of food. We'll stop by the store on the way home after church, and you will get food. You're not starving to death. You just ate last night, but still, you'll be fine. I didn't tell you guys about the new little chick that we acquired. Not my idea, but it was wandering around, a brand new hatchling, wandering around in a rainstorm, so my boyfriend picked it up. We tried to put it in for the big chickens. He tried. I knew that wasn't going to work. So now we have a baby in the room. Alright, I've done everything that I can do up to this point. So I added some more cardboard there, layered straw, and finished out this area as well. And I am now completely out of cardboard and straw. So that's all I can do right now. I also only have a little tiny bit of soil left in the bag, so I can't really do any more up potting or anything until we go to the store after church, which I'm still hoping we're planning to do, because now he's talking about going to St. Augustine, possibly, to get some parts. I wouldn't mind going to St. Augustine to like visit and hang out, explore, but today's the only day I have off of work. I had to work this weekend, and I really want to get this stuff done. Of course, after church is going to be so hot, I probably won't be out here anyway. So, I don't know, but I've still got a ton of work that I need to get done out here.